Hello everyone, welcome back to another aftermarket review. So I'll be going over today's trades. I did take two lower risk trades, but they were both losses, so I ended up the day on minus 1.3R. And I can show here the transparency here. Anyway, add some losses here. And now my account is 1,100 and yeah, so just close to 1,200 in drawdown. It's more like 1,170, and I risk normally 750, so I'm around 1.56R in drawdown right now. So I'll be going over what I was looking at today. So today being Wednesday, there was no news today, so I'd only look for setups at 9 a.m. Going to the daily chart, still kind of looking at this big impulse leg. We've hit into all-time highs, we're just trading there, and we still have these untapped daily fair value gaps. So, like the other days, what would confirm me looking for some short-term bearish price action into these gaps would be if we had a previous week high or a previous day high SMT. So as we go here, we can see that we did in fact, this is a little bit messy, but if you look at the previous week high, ES failed to take out previous week high, while NQ and YM have taken it out. So we do have a previous week high SMT, and we had that change in state of delivery the day before on all three assets. So this confirms my overall idea to look for lower prices into that daily fair value gap as a form of external range liquidity to internal range liquidity type play. So what I need going into today is either a previous day high SMT or previous session high SMT. When we went to the previous session high, we saw that all assets invalidated previous session high. So we had two options for today. So the bias today was bearish. What would be the invalidation of the bias would be if we invalidated previous week high SMT. When am I looking for a trade is 9 a.m. Now, where am I looking for a trade? In the AM session, if price drove high and created a previous day high SMT as well, then we could look for a previous 90-minute high SMT to look for low prices. If not, if we have no previous day high SMT, we'd have to wait for the PM session for a previous session high. So action plan is AM session, I need a previous day high and a previous 90-minute high to confirm this framework. So going into the session, we did end up creating that previous day high SMT, and it's still intact until now. As you can see, NQ at the time just took it out, and ES and YM haven't taken it out. NQ has now since closed above and continued higher. So yeah, we had that previous day high SMT, and then when we dropped down to the 5-minute chart, whoa, what happened? Okay, sorry. When we dropped down to the 5-minute chart, this is how things were looking. This is the SMT I was looking at. So at 10:30 we opened a new 90-minute cycle, and this is the 5-minute SMT, this red marker. On NQ we made higher highs, and then on YM we made lower highs. And then when we got this change in state of delivery, I entered here and targeting lower. That was a quick loss. I risked lower. I risked like 0.65 on each one of these trades. In hindsight, because of shorting at all-time highs, shorting with a lot of strength and a lot of risk to reward, and this being a little bit of like a small change in state delivery, I think I should have risked a little less instead of risking 0.65, which wasn't really like an exact science, me risking that. It's just like I went to lower the risk, and that's how much I put in. But I should have been a little bit more kind of like determined of what I was going to risk. I think in this case it would have been better to just risk 0.5 R on each one of these trades. So first trade was a quick loss, and then we had kind of like a second confirmation that I decided to also take a stab at it, since the first one also wasn't a full loss. That one was also a loss. So this was my 2 losses on the day. Yeah. So yeah, that's about it. It's unfortunate, but that's how it goes sometimes. So I'm now at minus 1.56 drawdown on the account, which honestly, it isn't too bad. One win covers that and more. So just gotta keep applying myself, keep bettering myself. If I had the same trades today again, what I'd do differently is I'd risk lower on these setups than I did. Well, yeah, that's about it. So looking for tomorrow, I know we're still pushing higher, but we still technically have this previous week high SMT intact. If overnight we continue to expand higher and ES does take out that previous week high, then that's a little bit different. We also have this previous day high SMT still intact, with NQ making high, YM making lower highs, and yeah. So we'll see tomorrow if we get some decent confirmation that we are in fact heading lower. We could look for some sells, but if not, then just continue resuming bullishness. Okay, so I hope this was insightful, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye bye.